Hey, Susan. So, so today's topic, we're going to talk about how we're going to show up this year. It's a new year. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I don't know about you, but it just has been feeling, life has been really heavy.
Yeah, it
You
has.
know, we
It
had
is.
COVID, and then on the heels of COVID, now we're having this economy from hell and all sorts of very difficult things happening in the year. And so it is a new year.
Hmm.
And life has been feeling really heavy. And I've been thinking, you know what? I want to show up differently this year. I'm tired of feeling the heavy. I'm tired of feeling all of this, which makes me think about how do we want to show up? What's coming up for us and how can we put empower ourselves and like maybe start to kick some ass this year and change the narrative.
Yeah, we are. We're going to kick asses.
Ass and change the narrative.
Yeah.
And even if it's only for ourselves, when we
Mm.
change the narrative for ourselves, we also change the narrative maybe for the people around us by just changing that type of energy.
I
How,
think there's a lot of truth in that.
sorry?
I think there's a lot of truth in that. When you say you change the energy, I think I've been doing a lot of reading around that kind of thing, and I think there's a lot of truth to it, right? If you do feel people's energy, right? When they walk into a room, you can tell if somebody, generally speaking, is, just off or stressed or anxious. Like that you feel the right when we say you feel the vibe, you really do,
You
right?
totally do.
Right. And I think how, like you said, how you show up in a room, how you come in, and I'm not sure people are aware of how important that is. And I'm not saying you need to come in going, yay, everything's fine and happy. But I think if we're constantly in a state of, you come in and you're like negative and hard, and it does bring everything down. So I think, as you said, thinking a little bit, what do I want to do for myself so that maybe I show up a little bit better for myself to start with,
100%.
right?
And that's where it starts. We have to
Right.
understand, how
How
are we
things.
showing up?
Yeah.
And for a lot of us, I think we're showing up,
Half-heartedly.
pardon me,
I think a lot of us are showing up half-heartedly, and not because we don't want to, but I think we're not even aware of it.
agreed. And I think that for a lot of us, we're thinking that we have to show up a certain way. You
Yeah.
know, that there's a lot of, well, we should be able to handle this. We should be able, we're
Yeah.
supposed to be, whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
And so we're not showing up as ourselves.
Yeah.
And
100%.
that can be exhausting.
I think it's exhausting once you start to realize that it can make a big difference. Like then it's hard because you're like, well, okay, how am I supposed to be showing up? But I think for me personally, one of the things is time. Like just
Yeah.
take a little bit of time. We are so bombarded by work, family, you name it. Like there's always something grabbing our attention, right? That we're constantly going from one thing to another. Like you feel like you're putting out fires constantly, right? And one of the things I've been trying to do the past, like week or so since we've been getting back into everything is I actually get up just about 10 minutes earlier than I was, just because it gives me that extra quiet time just to sit and be quiet, not have anybody around me ask any questions. I can just sit down and do nothing if I want to for 10 minutes,
Oh,
right?
I love that. Yeah.
And
Because
honestly,
we're not giving ourselves the space. Like, how do we show up differently and how do we go after our dreams and our goals
right.
and not let the weight of the world freaking bring us down if we're not aware of how we're showing up?
Right. And honestly, I find just having those 10 extra minutes, I just sit down, I have a coffee, and I just sit and I do nothing. I look out the window, I watch the dogs because they're ready to go out, but they've learned to wait. Um, but it's just having that time for me, right? And as I said, if I want to read a little bit, I do. I try not to look at my phone other than the weather, but I think we've just really completely forgotten the value of just being, right? We always feel like I should be doing something,
Yeah. And that
right?
kind of rolls into roles.
Yes.
What I mean by that is for a lot of us, we have assumed a role,
Mm.
and a lot of times we've just kind of moved into it. And
Yeah.
maybe we're dealing with people pleasing. And so we're saying yes to everything, even though we're so exhausted and it's to our own detriment. I mean, we want to be there, we want to do all those things,
But
but
you can't.
we're not taking care of ourselves, or we consider ourselves to be the caregiver, or that we always have to be available, or it's selfish to spend time on our own.
If
And
somebody else needs you, right? And I think this is a big part of it too, right? I think especially if there's family members that you're looking after, older family members, younger family members, like it can be whichever one. And I think it kind of comes back to that idea on the plane, right? You have to look after yourself first before you can look after others. But for some reason, in everyday life, we don't seem to do that.
no, we don't. But you know what? I think that's so much of us, our lives are subconscious,
Yes.
right? And because we're being bombarded with so much stuff, we go into just,
Active mode.
zoning out.
Yeah.
I heard something just earlier today about how we are distracting ourselves with just mindlessly looking at our phone,
Yeah.
doing
We
things.
do. We get bored and we pick it up, right? Instead of just being bored or at the grocery checkout, right? Instead of just like years ago, you would just watch what was going on around you.
Yeah.
Now we pick up our phones and we stare at them like it's,
Well, we need to disconnect. And
yeah,
that for many of us, that's the only way we know how to disconnect is by kind of blocking it out and just like doing these mindless things. But what we're not doing is we're not being intentional with ourselves and going, hey, is this really how I want to
am
be?
I choosing? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of, as I came into the new year, it just felt, everything going on, which of course we won't talk
It's a
about
lot. Yeah.
in the world. And this future seems to be kind of a scary place right now. It's just like, you know what? I don't want to carry that heaviness anymore. I mean, it's there. We need to be aware of it, but to change the narrative, and there was kind of this like, quite honestly, Susan, I kind of had this kind of like, fuck you. You know
Yes,
what?
100%. No, I'm
Um,
right behind you on that one. Yeah.
like, what's happening in this world, and let's do the very best we can, and let's plow
Yeah.
forward, and let's be the best, live
Yeah.
lives from an empowering point of view instead of dealing with life um, as a result of what has happened to us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
And
mean?
reacting. This is it. And just reacting to things
Yes.
again, instead of taking those few moments and just going, okay, what am I going to do with this? Right? Am I going to get angry and yell back? Am I going to be that person who, right? And it kind of comes back into this idea of roles, right? Who do I choose to be? Because I think we've forgotten that we do have a choice in that,
100%. Yeah.
right? Who do I choose to be in this moment? But you have to be aware of what you're doing,
Yes.
right? And
It
I,
all comes with self-awareness. Is it the only way to change is through self-awareness?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And so speaking of that, yes, I'm going to shamelessly put in a little plug for me.
Go for it. I
Yeah,
think people need anyway.
I just put out an online course. It's a self-study online course, and it's really all about this topic and the name of the course is Who Am I If I Let Go of Who I Think I'm Supposed to Be?
See, and I love that because I think a lot of people, even just the title, you're like, hang on a second.
Is that
Who?
a great title?
I think it's brilliant.
Because most of us live from a point of view of who we think we are supposed to be in this world versus understanding who our authentic selves are. And
Yeah.
we have to be certain when we're at the office, we have to be a certain way. But generally speaking, like, if we gave up thinking that we have to solve everybody's problems,
Mm.
who are we then? And that actually really scary place if I give up thinking that I have to do this and this and this, even if it's hurting me. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where the idea of the course came in. And it goes through this idea of, you know, identifying, who you think you're supposed to
Mm.
be. and the should statements. I should have been able to handle that.
I should have done this. I should have looked after that better. Yeah.
Yeah, that's, so many things wrong with us. And then it moves into the roles that we play.
Okay.
And, that's like the people pleasing, I just had a client last week, I say yes to everything. Because I feel like I'm supposed to be saying yes, but
And
I'm
if I say no,
not.
people are going to judge me.
They are going
Right?
to be judging
Yeah.
me.
I
But
think that's
I'm
all
now
about.
exhausted and I can't quite be there for my kids. And my husband is really upset because I'm not there as much as I should be because I've got a full-on career, which is great.
Yeah,
And yes to everything. So there's that fine line. So it moves into that.
I like it.
And that moves into the cost of, what is the cost of hanging on to that stuff, which is, problems in the marriage, maybe problems at work, feeling exhausted, putting in half-ass work because I'm tied into who I think I'm supposed to be presenting to the world. Um, and then it walks you through, how to let go
Oh,
and to let go with compassion. We've got to be able to be easy with ourselves. So anyway, that's the thing,
I
which
love it.
I think is very much in tune with where my brain is this year of this is a different year and I want to show up differently and I want to have a different energy to me and cast off some of this other stuff and really empower an agency. So it's a sell. If anybody's interested, we'll leave the link in the bottom.
Definitely. I think it's going to be really useful for a lot of people because we do fall into these roles, right, without realizing it. And we fall into so many different sort of yeah, roles that we take on and do unconsciously and keep doing and keep doing. And I think, again, kind of coming back to if we take that time and it doesn't have to be long, right? I think we can, and I think that's what's great about these kind of courses is you can do it in like 5, 10 minute segments here and there. It doesn't have to be this all out thing, which I think can be scary for some people that are starting out, right? If this is the first time they're doing something like this, online courses for that are brilliant because you do it at your own pace.
Yeah. And
Right.
this course is designed to really make you think.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just about taking a look at where you're at and what's happening
Where do
and
you want to go?
you know what? It's only $42. So it's a really
That's great.
good I deliberately made it low so that there
We'll
was
make it accessible.
accessible. Yeah, people are looking and self-awareness is key. So
Awareness is
bring
key.
yourself out. So anyway, there's my shameless plug for my online course.
It's not shameless. It was amazing.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm totally excited about it. But
It is, and I think it's such a great
here,
thing to do, right? If people know that there are tools, they may not be ready for it now, right? Maybe they'll go, okay, in 2 months' time or whenever. But I think it's knowing that these tools are here for people is so important, especially as things are. It might not be the right time, but just having them there is already okay. I can go to it right now. I'm ready.
yeah,
Right.
great point. And you're right. What if it's not ready right now, but it might be in a couple of months? But things are heavy and we just need to,
To
you know,
be kind. Yeah.
we need to be kind and we need to maybe let go of some of that stuff and put out a whole new energy how
Mm.
we're going to face life.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we all need some agency on that, and so we can
Move forward in a better way.
in a better way, in a better way. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. And again, we'll leave all those details at the bottom in the description. And if you have any comments, we'd love to hear them. Take care.
Exactly. Bye.
Bye.